Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And we recently got back from Niagara Falls.
Niagara on the lake, actually.
And Falls.
Which are two different things, apparently.
I still don't understand.
Yeah, they're like 20 minutes away from each other.
So why were we at Niagara at the lake?
Canada plays.
Canada plays.
Canada plays.
So this is a tidbit of Canadian, not history, reality to all of you.
Reality.
Here's a Canadian reality. So in Canada, a lot of our games, board games, get distributed by kind of two big distributors.
Yes.
There's Lion Rampant and Asmodee and then Universal.
Uh-huh.
And typically, distributors put on trade shows that invite retailers to come out and say, see all the good games that are coming out in the year.
Yes.
So retailers can be like, which one should I bring to my store? Let's make all these decisions and hear presentations and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Canada Plays is essentially that.
Yeah.
It's run by Asmodee Canada and Lion Rampant. And they brought in people, and they brought in publishers as well.
Yes.
To show the games and show retailers what all the fun is about in 2024 and even 2025.
New releases. They had a lot of panels, a lot of talks going on. And then, of course, they had a bunch of games. They had some events, and they were gracious enough to invite us along.
Luckily, we also had a wedding that weekend, so
Yes.
it was a perfect alignment of timelines, so we got to come on by.
Yeah, we were in Toronto, and we joined our friends Jenna and Jamie, and Jenna picked us up from the airport.
Board Game Garden
Yes.
and Foster the Meeple.
Foster the Meeple. Jenna picked us up from the airport, and we carpooled with Jamie, ourselves, and Jenna all the way down to Niagara on the lake where this trade show was happening.
It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even before then, we got to visit a board game store. We got to settle in, play some games. It was just a joyous opportunity.
It was.
Now, why were we invited? Well, us and you are a really core aspect of why retailers bring a lot of the games into their stores.
Yes, exactly.
A lot of times, when customers come in and say, hey, have you heard of Keystone 2nd Edition? Have you heard of Kinfire Chronicles? Retailers listen, and they're like, 6 people asked me for that. Maybe I should order it.
Yes. Yep.
So your voices mean a ton in those spaces. And this is just one of the ways to get the games that you love and support the publishers that you love in your stores.
Yep. Making those business connections, however it may be. And then us as content creators, spreading that love and awareness for whether it be games, publishers, or retailers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We get to share the games that we love, and hopefully you'll be able to love them one day too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what did we do at Canada Plays?
Played games.
We played a lot of games. We also did a puzzle competition.
We did, yeah.
I have always wanted to do a puzzle competition.
Yes.
But every time we go to conventions, it's so busy. And it's just like taking an hour, 2 hours to go do a puzzle competition. It takes a lot of time. But I convinced everybody. We set it aside and we tried our darn bestest. Did we win?
No.
Were we close?
Maybe?
We did okay.
I don't know.
It was very stressful. The hour flew by. I thought we had 10 minutes. And they're like, there's an hour left. Yeah. Or there's like 10 minutes left.
And I thought the puzzle was much bigger than it was, but it was really like, it was like 500 pieces, was it? Yeah, but it was like, it didn't take up as much room as I had expected, and that threw me off a little. And me and Ilya weren't on the same team.
We were competing.
And
I think we tied. We were pretty close.
I think it was pretty close.
But there was less team members on your team.
Yeah, so maybe that's a bonus for us.
For you, maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
what else did we do?
Now, what we'll do now is tell you about all the games that we played.
All of them?
All of them. All the ones I took B-roll for.
Yeah, and we're allowed to talk about.
Ooh, Tyler! Secrets.
Ooh.
We may have saw some exciting upcoming games.
But,
we didn't say anything.
One day. Maybe soon.
Maybe soon.
Who knows?
Okay, here we go. I made a list. They're on sticky notes. There's one. There's two. They're messy. Here we go.
We're just going to go for it.
Tangram City.
Oh, yay. This was a cool little tile placement. Ooh.
This is Uwe Rosenberg, and this is from Capstone. You're placing tiles. There's a really fun aspect of hidden information here. So I may know a tile that's coming up, but you may not yet, so that can hinder planning.
Yeah.
But it's a very simple score mechanic. I think it's a gateway game that will just feel a lot of fun to play again and again.
Yeah, I liked it, and then there was that aspect of like balancing your city versus your parks. I thought that was a lot of fun, and then filling up your board, of course. It reminded me a lot of like, almost like a patchwork-ish. I mean, I guess it is Uwe.
It is Uwe.
So it definitely gave vibes, but we played it at 5 and it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Up next, we have Contrabanter.
Contrabanter.
So this is the second time that I got to play this game.
First time I got to play it.
It's coming out very soon, but it's a very cool party game where you're playing in teams and you're trying to sneak in some hidden words round to round, but you have to try to guess the other opponent's hidden words.
Yeah. And then we would ask you folks a question, and then that would prompt you on how you're gonna like mix them in.
You have to have a discussion.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I, for one, don't think I'm necessarily the greatest at those types of games, but it was nice having like 4 of us to like bounce off of. Although a minute and a half was not always a long enough time, because we would get going down like one train of thought and then we'd actually miss a word.
We did, yeah.
And that was unfortunate. But we did a really good job at sneaking some of the words
I
in.
had an all-star moment where the very first game, one of our words was helpless.
Yeah.
And I was already complaining, like, I'm going to be so bad at this. And the clock started, I was like, oh, I'm going to be so helpless. And then I like went into the conversation and I felt so smart.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was really good.
I remember the scripted that I was doing really well. Anyways, it was a lot of fun. I think it's something that people can enjoy. It's a good way to actually like learn how to ad-lib without being too stressed about it, because you're able to basically like remember the words and just have a conversation with the people on your side of the table. It's
exactly
fun. Yeah.
Now there was an expo hall aspect of the game, so we walked around in some of the stuff as well.
Yep.
There is a Azul Summer Pavilion mini coming out.
Yes, to add to the mini lines that they've been doing with Azul, I thought was really
Everybody
great to
loves
see.
Summer Pavilion.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
I like it. It's just not my favorite. I like Stained Glass more, but I'm part of the minority.
Yeah, I mean, Azul Original is my favorite, so it doesn't really matter.
That's fair. Now, there's a really exciting one called Monstrolicious. Now, you may have remembered, on our channel, we have talked about pecking order.
Oh, yes. I was like, what are you trying to hint at? But yes.
We were not on the same wavelength.
No.
But we talked about pecking order, which is
in our 2-player month.
Yeah, it's an older, very fun game.
I actually think in the 90s.
I think it is from the 90s.
Or even earlier.
I think it's from 1997 if I was to make a guess.
Okay.
And it's a very clever, very fun game.
Yes.
This is its game brought back, but it's reskinned as like monsters.
And
desserts.
I think a few other twists and turns along the way.
So it's really fun. I'm really excited to see it back. We saw also some other games. There's a fairy, one of trees or lights. I forget the specific one, but it looked really fun.
Yeah.
And a game called Tree Society that also looks really interesting.
Yeah, you're right.
Now another one we got to play was Bounty Hunters.
Yes.
So this was a Star Wars
Star
game.
Wars. Drafting game. This one was interesting actually because it was like a draft and then make your own little tableau. You're basically doing exactly that. You're trying to like capture your bounties, but you have to do it in like such a way where you're scoring a bunch of different points. I thought it was actually like quite interesting because it reminded me of like a leveled up Sushi Go almost.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Like without the variability, I guess, because you're always doing kind of the similar thing.
And you're the bad guys, right? You're capturing the little baby Yoda Grogu.
Exactly. And then like of course like the draft never ends because like you always like draw a card and then draw an extra card and then draft from that and then pass to the left, I guess. So it's like a continuous thing, which is nice.
Yeah, it's really fun because it's a higher player count but simultaneous play. So we were always playing, we're really engaged into it, and the scoring was really clever.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Now while Tylor got to do some mini painting.
Yeah, they had this like miniature Epic Legends. They had this like 30-minute miniature painting contest where you had like 30 minutes to paint this giant miniature. And that was interesting because I'm not much of a mini painter. Like I've explored it, but this was tough. Like 30 minutes is not a long time. And this thing was like this.
Did you take a picture of yours?
I do have a picture of it. We can put it up. I took a video of mine and James, so we can put it up.
Yeah, and James joined us for a lot of the games too. Yes. Little Meeples, definitely check him out too. Now while they were painting, me, Jamie, and Jenna have played Pick a Pen. So I've been excited for this for about a year and a half when I first heard about it, when it was released all the way over in Europe. And in this game, it's a roll and write, but you're rolling your pencils.
Yes.
And there's 3 different versions. There's gardens, reefs, and crypts, and each of them play slightly differently. And we did manage to play them all. They were a ton of fun. Gardens was my favorite.
Yeah. It also, I like sat and watched a little bit of it, and it reminded me a little bit of like almost not Railroad Inc., Well, kind of. In those veins of like the very similar but slightly different, the variety was very nice.
It feels like a classic, and I'm happy that they did 3 games as well, because there's just more to love in each of these games.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of roll and rights, another roll and right we played was, or not really.
I don't even know how to call it a roll and right. It's called roll and bump.
Roll and bump.
Which is
this
really
game
fun.
is so fun.
Yeah.
Tyler, tell us about it.
You basically just like roll your dice on your turn and then make certain things that match the center cards, and then hope you don't get bumped off when during everybody else's turn, because if it comes back to you, you collect the cards that are underneath, and then you want to build like same sets of colors like you want, and then the face value is also really important because you'll score points off of that. It was a lot of fun, really quick, really smooth, and like super easy to teach, which is always like a huge factor in the games we play.
I suspect this will be a really hot game because it's really accessible. It's really easy because all you're rolling dice and you're just contributing them to different things.
Yeah.
But it's the amount of times people were so mean to me and came for me and my placements because they didn't want me till it was just fun. The dynamic was really fun. It was fun to bump people. It was fun. That decision making was really clever but so simple. So I loved it for that.
It was good.
Then we got to try Altered,
the trading card game. I was very excited when I saw that they were going to be here. The trading card game, like in its simplest form, is basically you have a deck and you're part of one faction, and those factions like specialize in certain things, as you would imagine like most card games do that, but you only play in that one color, and you're basically area majority. You want to have your tokens align at the very end or go past each other by the end of the game, and the first person to do that wins. And you're going to do that through playing your cards, of course, and then like the area majority part comes into play when you are playing your cards, because you're moving from the left side and the right side, and you have to decide whether you're playing on the companion or champion side, and then go from there. It was really fun.
It felt very different to any trading card games we've played, or I've played. I feel like we've recently gone into trading card games because we've dove headfirst into Lorcana, but we recently tried One Piece, Pokemon. Tyler's played Magic. I played Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day. So it's really interesting to experience like trading card games in their current modern format. And I'm fearful this one will take over our lives.
I don't know about that, actually. I really enjoyed it, but I think Lorcana itches that scratch for me.
Yeah.
So,
but I like this one because it felt different.
Yeah.
Because you weren't. I feel like the one thing that puts me off trading card games is the very like heavy like person to person combat, and this one didn't feel very combative. It felt very like we're trying to do our own thing, but we are competing. Yeah. But it felt like less, I guess, mean. Which trading card games, like, they're intended to be because you're competing to win against the person. Yeah. But the winning outcome was really interesting. Yeah, there just seems to be, like, a lot of TCGs coming out, and Altered I'm excited for in a different way. So we'll see, like, when it launches in September, I believe. September. Yeah. Now, the last couple games we got to play was Medici, the new version. The new version, yeah. Which is from... I don't know. Steamforge Games. Steamforge, you're right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Steamforge. Yeah, you're right. If we're incorrect, we'll bleep all of this out and put the publishers. Awkward pause. But it's gorgeous. It's a newly fresh art. It's so fun to play. We've actually played the dice game and the card game, but we've never played the board game. No. So now we've completed the trifecta. Yes. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah. I'd like to see what the old one looked like, to be actually fair. But this one was beautiful. I understood what was going on, and it definitely relates to the other two. I still think I like the card game the most. I think I do too. The dice game was also really fun. All three of them were great, but I just very specifically remember the card game being my favorite. Yeah. Now, we played Push, because that's a classic. You just roll dice and hope that you can bank the most points. And last one we played was Faraway. Yes, where you have to think both about the now and about the future. It's kind of a brain burner, actually, because you are like drafting and playing, but you want to play them so you can get points, but you score in reverse order of your draft or of the way you played. So you flip everything over and then score right to left, but you're playing the whole time left to right. Yeah, it kind of burns your brain. I crushed.
Yeah.
It was very
did
fun.
really well.
And I like the art. The art it was really
Art
unique.
is really cute. Yeah. So those were the games we played. We had a lot of fun exploring and playing. And it was nice and cozy. There was about 250 people there, I think. So it was very small. It was the second year, I think, that they've done it as well. So it's just growing and growing. And we're excited that we got to be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you so much to Asmodee Canada for inviting us. We had an absolute blast. There's a lot of really informative panels as well. And we saw our local retailer was there too, or one of them. So it was really cool to see all the various folks all across from Canada.
Yes.
So we hope to see this event
And the
continue.
States. People were coming up from the States too. So
Well, mainly the publishers.
mostly the publishers.
Not the retailers. This is a Canadian thing.
Yeah. That
Canada
is true.
represent.
Hey.
Speaking of Canada representation, we went to Niagara Falls right after that.
Yeah, which neither of us have actually been to. And
What
like
were
you
your
said,
first impressions?
it was beautiful. I actually like, I had pictured one part of the falls and it extended much further than I thought it was. And that was really nice because we got to like walk the whole thing. And then it's called, oh gosh, what's the hill called? The street?
Cobble Street.
No. I don't
Hollywood
actually know.
Broadway walkway.
But it was anyways, they've got like
There's
a main
a fun
street.
street with a lot of attractions
Why
on
can't
it.
I remember the name? It's going to bother me. Yeah. It was a lot of fun though. We dipped into an arcade and actually spent the rest of our afternoon in that.
We spent a lot. It's been so long since I've been in an arcade, and I feel like we really committed to it. And I really, really badly wanted to win.
Oh yeah, that like
There was a big
line.
Pikachu, and there's like one where you stop the line, and I got to the grand prize twice
Yeah.
to that line that does the thing, and I just didn't get it.
Yeah, I really wanted him to win it, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. It was also really hot out, and I remember I had to like even wear my hood because I'm like, I'm gonna get heat stroke because the sun was just like,
Yeah.
And maybe one of us did get a little sunburned.
Yeah.
It wasn't me because I wore my hood.
I think you did get a little burnt on your face. I got a little burnt on my face too.
Everybody got a little burnt. But thank you so much to Jenna for driving us, for Jamie to join us on this adventurous journey, for James for sharing all the games with us and having so much fun this weekend.
And everybody else that we were able to hang out with and talk to. That was a lot of fun. We were really excited to be there. And yeah.
It's always lovely to connect. It's always lovely to laugh. And it's always a blast to share board games.
Yes. So, if there was any of those games that kind of stood out to you folks, let us know what you think about them in the comments down below, of course. And do you have a question of the day?
The question of the day is where would you like to see a board game convention?
Where?
Yeah, because here we were at Niagara Falls, which I have not been to yet.
Yes.
And we also went to Toronto for the first time, and Tylor saw the CN Tower and touched the tip.
Yeah.
Which was fun. But where, like, what city or what location would you like to see a board game convention in?
I just think it's nice to have, I like the local stuff. I think it's really great when we don't have to travel too much.
True.
And when it's big enough for like friends from outside of the our area to come and visit. I think that's really fantastic.
Are you going to plan a Kovray con?
No. No, I will not. No.
Well, thank you so much, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
I will see you in the next one.
Bye.